Good evening. So I came out to spend some time with a very close friend, like a brother to me, here at the Britannia Yacht Club. And after that, I thought I will take a quick moment to just sit here by the water and share something that came up today when I was in a conversation at work. So before I get started with that, let me give you a perspective of this is what it looks like. This is the Yacht Club. This is what it looks like. Right behind me now is the expanse of Ottawa River. Boats are coming back into the marina as we speak. And the Ottawa River over here looks amazing. Actually, the only thing that I will contrast it to from what I know of is over here, the expanse of Ottawa River. It's a few kilometers uh, wide here. It's quite deep here. It's a couple of 100 feet. I'm not sure, but it's quite deep. So the only thing that I can relate this to is Ma Ganga in India, right? Because none of the rivers that I grew up around in Punjab could actually rival what I see here right now. And look at the sun breaking through. So beautiful. Families are here. Music is playing. Now, one thing before I get into what I'm going to discuss right now is growing up where I was growing up in India. It was very difficult to to belong to an institution like this. Like these things, especially at that time, were reserved for the mighty and the rich. People like I, who came from an average, below average middle class family, whose only claim to fame was that his parents were very well educated. Both of my parents, uh, you know, had been to university in spite of their circumstances. But yet, we went to the best school. Everybody believed that we had a bright future ahead of us, but we could not dare to be a part of something like this. And I think it is to the beauty of Canada. And I'm not saying that I would not have been a part of something like this in India by this time, but the fact of the matter is, we had access to stuff like this when we came here 20 years ago. We didn't have to wait. Um, yeah, it took some money, but nothing like what it took in India. So when you are in Canada, coming out, having a meal or being a member is not something that an average individual or an average couple on average salary cannot afford. So this is actually quite affordable. There's an exclusivity. That exclusivity comes from being a member. My really good friend, he is a member, but it's not beyond reach. So I think that's the democratization of these opportunities and the equity that creates has been one of uh, the biggest joys of calling Canada home. Anyway, coming to what I wanted today to talk uh, to you about in this video was this whole notion of, like, I had a student earlier today talk to me about how as a student they feel stifled and they feel that they're going to have to wait for their opportunity to come. And it's about the mindset. So the message today that I have is regarding the mindset. So basically what I ended up talking to this particular student in detail about was how they need to get out of that mindset, because being a student is not a disadvantage. On the contrary, I would say that being a student opens up a whole lot of opportunities. For one, if one was just to think about it very strategically and in the context of where they find themselves in their life when they are a student. So when we got talking about it, I got asked, like, give me an example of something that makes me powerful. And to that, I give this example, which is what I want to share today, is that when you are a student, you can actually get away with a lot of things by virtue of being a student. As an example, if you're really interested in a company, let's say, or an organization, and you would ideally like to work for them, do not just look for jobs in that organization, or do not just approach them when there's a job and your approach is through your resume. when you're seeking a consideration for that job. On in fact, uh, feel free to reach out. But again, I'm going to come back to it. Like, reach out with that framework that I've already shared with you. Reach out with an understanding, reach out with a plan, and reach out with an intentionality. So, the understanding of what is that organization about, and what do you think the organization can or may need. Um, the plan on how you're going to make sure that when you approach the organization through whatever whatever door you enter, it's gonna not look like something accidental. It's not gonna look like something made up. It's gonna look very natural, and they're gonna get you know they're gonna see that in a light that's gonna position you really well, and intentional, that you need to really understand what's the outcome that you want from it, and how what you have put together as a plan is going to get you there. So let me give you an example. So if you are seeking a job in an organization and you don't see the job on career page, don't wait for a job to come up. You can actually reach out to them and say, listen, I'm a student. In this case, the student would be from Lambton College, and saying, I'm a student and I've been asked to research the business model of an organization, and I find your organization to be a fascinating organization. And would it be okay if I was to do some research on your business model? And for that, I would really appreciate if I can have 5 to 10 minutes of your time. Now, the chances are you're going to get a positive answer to that reach out, because most people, one, have more time for students because they want to be a part of somebody's learning journey, and two, they've themselves been students, so they understand that there's an applied knowledge aspect to their student experience, and they want to be a part of it. Now, this is not sneaky at all, because you're going with a good intent. At the minimum, you would put your candidature out to them, but you will also get to understand their business model, and hopefully you'll create some value in your observations and analysis. So, but going back to my point, it does take you spending the time to understand, then you spending the time to plan, and you spending the time to be intentional about it. But the bottom line is that being a student does not put you in a weaker position. It actually is quite a powerful position if you were just to take a thoughtful moment to try and map a meaningful experience for yourself. So anybody who's ever reached out to me in my professional capacity to want to have a conversation with me, a professional conversation with me about something where they wanted some clarity, I can tell you right now, it's been a rare case where I have turned that request down. And if in a conversation with that student, I was to come to a conclusion that this is a really sharp student, or the fact that the student really wants to work with us, guess where the resume for that student would go? Right to the top of my stack. So, with that, I'm going to take your leave, but you can hear the music playing in the background right there. And you can see the boats coming back, and that reminds me that I have a home to go to too, and that's where I'm headed now. So please subscribe and please turn on the notification, because uh, it's your subscription and you turning on the notification, or you reaching out and asking a question that truly tells me or truly communicates to me that I'm doing something meaningful and proper here. So would love to hear from you. And if there's any questions at all regarding Ottawa, regarding professional experiences, professional opportunities, educational opportunities, building for yourself intentional outcomes in Canada or globally, please do not hesitate to reach out. I take your leave. Have a great night.